Cultural
History Bus Tour! Hello, this is Dr. Jeff Kim, and I'm so excited to be on this field trip with Anaheim Union High School District. Carolyn Torres, our Ethnic Studies curriculum specialist, is leading the way.
And then the plan is we're going to go to the Anaheim Cove, then we're going to Artesia / Little Texas and Santana, then we're going to go to Little Saigon, then Little Arabia, and then have a reflective experience after that. Seeing it on pictures is helpful, but when you go to a place, I'm hoping it just inspires some of that curiosity. As we move from place to place, what beauty do you notice? And what feelings, words come up for you as we learn about the communities?
So what is your hope for today?
Well, my hope for today is to continue learning about the different ethnicities here in Orange County.
I'm really excited for this tour because I didn't grow up in Orange County. I'm from Northern California.
I don't really have an opportunity to come and check out, what's around the Anaheim Union High School District schools. I just know how to get to my school.
My hope for today is to become a more informed teacher and citizen because I grew up in a very white area of Orange County.
One hope for today for me is to relive my childhood. So I grew up in Garden Grove, and I don't think I've been to the Asian Garden Mall since my high school days. And so I'm very excited to do that. And two, I'm excited to be a learner for today. I've lived in Orange County all my life, and I can say that I'm just used to my little routine.
I've lived in Orange County for 25 years, and I feel like I only know about the area that I live in. So to be able to expand my understanding of how all of our communities are interconnected is fascinating to me.
I want to learn more about the other communities that exist and the other communities that I teach right now and might be teaching next year.
And also, this is going to really give me an opportunity to get to know the different multicultural communities and how can I bring that into my classroom.
In my conversations with Carolyn, I learned that there's so much more that I don't know about Orange County.
So there's a lot of pieces of Orange County that I'm still learning about, a lot of spots of cultural importance that I have never seen or heard of or visited. So
one, learning about more about the communities in Orange County, particularly the marginalized communities, and identify the assets.
One beautiful thing that I'm already noticing is from our educators. Like, they have such curiosity and such interest. Many are actually vulnerable, saying they have not been to many of these places before. And it just reminds me how important it is to have someone maybe be a friend and guide you through these spaces, because sometimes even for educators it can be a little nervous to kind of enter these new spaces.
I'm really excited to get to see some things that I may not normally drive to on my own or pass by on my own, and hear a little bit of what our community has to say about those places.
I also am really excited to possibly learn more about where we can tie in environmental justice with what I learn about our local community.
I'm also coming in with a lens on how I can support my students with disabilities and my special ed teachers, because in this fall we're rolling out STC Ethnic Studies.
We're going to be stopping by various communities and seeing the cultural assets that are there with lens of appreciations and curiosity. I'm so excited to see and learn different things. I'm so curious today.
Top, Anaheim Coves Trail, right? The second slide shows one compilation of some of the indigenous villages, mostly Tongva, with some significance to Hashim and possibly Tuba. And when we think of historic villages, sometimes in pictures we only see like one building, and then we think that's the whole village, but we know that that's not how villages work. Usually whatever kind of survives, and then it's for miles and like all directions. People are growing stuff, visiting, things like that. So using the term village loosely. Hands of the Tongva peoples. I want to acknowledge the Ahashiman peoples who have stewarded the southern and coastal areas of what we now refer to as Orange County. I want to pay my respects to elders both past and present, as well as the Tongva and Ahashiman youth who have attended our schools in Asian District.
Xin chào, tên là Vi. So my hope for today is I'm aware of a lot of the places that we're visiting. So I'm excited to learn about the history behind those places.
So you may have a Tongva or Hashiman or other native students in your classroom and assume that they're maybe Latino or Mexican, and they might be half, they might have one parent, right? But the more opportunities in your class for people to share out your identities, the more you're going to get to those diverse identities.
That was super cool. We were just by the Mendez High School. There's a teacher there who is helping parents to write their own stories.
I learned about some of the history that I didn't know about before, and especially in Santa Ana where a lot of the groups overlap. So I'm sure she'll talk more about that, but that it used to be Vietnam town at one point before we even had Little Saigon. So I'm excited to learn about even more histories like that.
It's called Artesia Pilar. So a lot of stuff has gone down in this neighborhood. Specifically Rate Street over there, that's like the main street through the neighborhood. El Salvador Community Center, it might have looked different from the 60s and 70s. This is where they would have the segregated dances between Mexican and black community members. I don't know if they're segregated from each other, but they're segregated from white dances.
So just being here at the El Salvador Community Center, I'm just reminded from Carolyn Torres, her sharing that there's many layers to places like this. The stories of places and how places hold stories. She talked about the Tongva and Ahashiman. She talked about the Chicano, Hispanic, Latino community, the Black community, the Chinese community, the Cambodian community. So many different communities in this space, and this also being a space that was the center of desegregated housing in the United States of America. Amazing. You can come to this space and really think and feel and have a mindful moment around.
I'm excited for joining everyone on this trip today just to get a better working understanding of the communities. I grew up in Long Beach, so I'm pretty unfamiliar with the new community that I serve. And as we all know, libraries should reflect the community, the students, the families, the culture, and everything like that. So coming on this trip will help me understand better how to curate our collections and adjust our library programming to support all students, families, teachers, and staff.
So we were just at the Asian Garden Market. It's a huge mall of all different kinds of food and materials and stores in Little Saigon, the Vietnamese American community here. Now, we didn't have a lot of time to eat, but I think when you come to these spaces, it's good to really experience all 5 of your senses, and food can definitely do that. So I had a banh mi, I had like a Vietnamese iced coffee, which was super good, maybe the best and my favorite coffee out there, and also some egg rolls. But there's so many other great things I could have gotten, but we're on our way out now. We are now on our way to Colonia Independencia.
The older Mexican communities are derived from these initial colonias, and this is the one most relevant to the Anaheim area. So this is unincorporated, meaning it's not part of the city, so they have different structures, but it is Magnolia Elementary District. So our students, these are our kids for Anaheim Union. So we're going to do a circle reflecting on how people felt, like personally felt with the experience, and then have time to do some more research, just preliminary, like quick research, trying to figure out what articles are there, because oftentimes somebody has already kind of done this research, but then it gets lost somewhere in some website, somebody's garage, right? So trying to recover some of that. And then we'll have another circle kind of reflecting on the pedagogy, like how should we put this in the classroom, what can we do with our students. The hope eventually is that some of the students will be leading some of these tours. We have a couple steps to get there, but that's the eventual goal, that the teachers we can expand this to teachers, parents, other folks. Teachers can give the tours with students, and students can feel empowered to do some of it. There's also, like, I picked specific spots, but there's so many other areas that maybe not a whole enclave, but like a particular store that's important or things like that. So it's really uncovering that in ways that we've been doing digitally, but now like physically uncovering, like going to places and looking at it. So hoping that that'll make its way into the classroom.
We live in one of the most culturally blessed nations in the world, but it's a blessing when we can also honor those traditions and know those traditions as well. So what are those traditions? Anaheim Union High School District! History!
The store!